what we call paying it off, right? In the business, this is an insider term. But if I set you up for something or you guys teed me up for something, I got to come back and it's paying it off. So I'm going to pay something off. I'm going to pay something off to a viewer who found me on Twitter and said, Chael, go make a video about this right now. Oliveira is going to fight Beneil. Now, I told you guys that. I told you this last week, and I told you that I had inside scoop. It was Hans. Hans found this, and he shared it with me, and I came and shared it with you. But I was light on it. I credited Hans, but one of the reasons I credited him is I was also sticking it on him, in case it wasn't true. Charles Oliveira was just on camera 2 pay-per-views ago. He just did a media tour that they flew him to a different country to do. He didn't say a word about this, and that was why I thought maybe it's not real. He also sat in the front row, and Beneil Dariush did not. Generally, if you bring in the A side, you bring in the B side. There was just a couple of things that happened where I thought, I don't know that I believe they're going to do this fight. And nothing more over the fact that that would clearly be your number 1 contender's fight. If you're going to fight at 155 pounds and it's not for a world championship and it does not involve Beneil Dariush, you have a big problem. You got a big problem. How you're going to get a guy like me to come out and tell a story about a number 1 contender that isn't Beneil? I believe Beneil has won 8 in a row now. I believe Oliveira will be number 9. If I'm wrong, he's got 7 banked and this will be number 8. But the point is, there's nobody on the roster that has that many straight that didn't get a title shot. And that's literally, I don't just mean the guys right now on those streaks. You will not find anybody on the roster. It could be 5 years ago, guys. There's nobody on the roster, just to say this again, that has as many wins in a row as Beneil and did not receive a title shot. So, okay, we get the point that we're going to have to give Beneil the title shot. Or we give him a fight quick enough that could even serve as the number 1 contenders and we just move Islam down the road. As of right now, it still appears obvious. I don't know if we have a fight more obvious for a number 1 contendership than Oliveira versus Dariush. It's just tough to call it a number 1 contenders match in case Charles wins. Right? That's where things get tough. Who do you think the number 1 contender should be? Beneil. Okay, great. But Beneil has to go deal with this. So Beneil with the victory, Beneil with the victory. Okay. So not this fight, Beneil with the victory. Okay, great. So it's Beneil with the victory, and if then we're going to look at Gaethje, right? Fitzaev. As long as it's Fitzaev. So if Fitzaev wins and Beneil wins, one of those guys can go on. I mean, that's what we're doing, correct? And I think everybody's going to look around and say, yeah, that's correct. Okay, probably just solved it. Or there, of course, is another option, which is we can't give Beneil to Islam. Islam already has a fight. That is an outside chance. I'm not bullish on that. But the way that this sport is being ran in Q1 of 2023, much like it was done through all the quarters of 2022, is unlike any other time in this industry. UFC in 2019, it was nothing like UFC 2022. So I bring that to you because there is a chance that Volkanovski and Islam are going to fight, and that announcement hasn't been made. It would not have been built like a standard rematch. But neither was Adesanya and Pierre Part 2. It is not built like any rematch. But neither was Leon versus Usman Part 3. It's a different time. So, I mean, your options aren't great. How likely do you think it is that Volk is going to rematch Islam? You probably don't think it's all that likely. How likely do you think that it is that the one guy in your division that's going to get punished is your current champion Islam, and he's going to have to wait to figure out who a contender even is? See how that fight goes. See what the return is. Do the negotiation. Go through the training camp. You're going to sit a guy for 6 months for what? For just having a top 10 pay-per-view? You don't bench a guy. You don't make a guy wait that just brought you a top 10 pay-per-view. That guy did a good job. You get him back to work. But these are still your options. Is he fighting Volk? And they haven't announced it yet. Or Is he forced to wait while they find the rightful contender, as long as the matches go the way we want, with Fitzayev or Dariush?